Now this part is for the Delaware Regiment. If you're another regiment, you've got a cocked hat, you're probably finished. Hi everyone, it's Rory at Culloden Painting Studio. Heading back to 1776 and the outbreak of the American War of Independence. I've been very slowly putting together some forces that fought in Long Island during the New York campaign. And I'm going to do some of the Continental Infantry today. I'm doing the Delaware Regiment, but their uniform is actually very similar to what would become the Continental uniform of blue with red facings. So this is good to copy for lots of regiments. Delaware is a bit interesting. I found a resource online which suggests that they had some unique caps with a leather front. So I chopped down some of the Peak's caps that come in the Continental Infantry set. Or I should say it's a Perry 28mm plastic. So I cut down the caps and I used a bit of epoxy putty to build up the front. So the first colour that I've got to go over this white primer base is some Speedpaint Howling Sand. I'm going to use this off-white colour for the shirt, the breeches. I'm going to use that on the cross straps. On the rear of the model, use that for the canvas bag. Finish off the cross straps and the breeches. With the Howling Sand dry, I've got some Fanatic matte white and a Drybrush, and I'm going to dry brush all over those straps in front of the breeches and the vest. This just adds a bit of a highlight. So my colour for the coat is Speedpaint Beowulf Blue. Avoiding the cuffs, collars, turnbacks and all the straps if I can avoid it, but I can always tidy them up with white should the need arise. To highlight the coat, I've got some Fanatic Crystal Blue, a little dry brush, just bring out the peaks of all those folds. This is Speedpaint Blood Red. And I'm going to use this to paint the facings, the cuffs, collar, and turnbacks on the jacket. Legendary Red from the Fanatic range is providing a little bit of a highlight, just dry brushed on. This is Peachy Flesh for the skin. This is Dark Wood, so I'm using for the wood of the musket, also the bayonet sheath, the canteen, and hair. So with Grim Black I will do the cap, the cartridge box, and boots. And if the model is sculpted with gaiters, then I'll do the gaiters as well. To highlight the black, I've got some Fanatic Ash Grey, a little dry brush on the cap and the shoes and the cartridge box edges. Just set them off. And I got some polished silver, so there's some buttons on the jacket. And then there's all the metalwork of the musket as well. A couple of little finishing touches. Got a bit of the dark wood I used earlier, and I've thinned it about 2 parts Speedpaint medium to 1 part paint. And I've just darkened the eye sockets a bit there. And with some thinned runic grey, so again 1 part paint to 2 parts medium, putting on a bit of 5 o'clock shadow. Now this part is for the Delaware Regiment. If you're another regiment, you've got a cocked hat, you're probably finished. I've got some fiendish yellow and I'm going to paint on the pattern. I found a website for the Delaware Regiment, some reenactors, and they've got a picture of the cap. So I'm not going to be able to reproduce the whole thing on this scale, but I'm doing a circle and the scroll work that's around it. With a little demonic yellow, a couple of dots, just help bring that flat pattern to life a little bit. Here are 8 finished members of the 1776 Delaware Regiment for the American War of Independence. Just to recap, these were Perry plastic 28mm Continental Infantry figures that I converted to have a high-fronted leather cap, which was unique to the Delaware Regiment. If you don't agree that the Delaware Regiment wore them in 1776, then go look up the group of reenactors that say they did. I just copied it because I thought it looked a bit interesting, a bit different. I've based them on pennies, so 20mm round bases or thereabouts, on a sabot tray. 8 figures equals 1 unit in sharp practice, and I think for skirmish level gaming, individually based figures is easier to keep track of casualties, and I think the American War of Independence usually works better at a smaller scale of combat. Once again, I think the speed paints have done a really nice job of allowing me to paint these up really quickly. I think for some people, the lack of definition between, say, your straps and your jacket isn't a look that they want to achieve. You could always do some black lining with a pen or some black paint if you wanted to have really stark contrast between the different areas. I hope everybody's enjoyed this video and it was a useful exercise in seeing how to paint up some Continental Infantry uniforms. If you've got any comments, please leave them below. I'm happy to answer everything as best I can. Thanks to my channel member and Patreon supporters for providing a little bit of funding towards these projects. If you'd like to support the channel, please have a look in the description for some links to help you do that. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you again soon. Bye-bye.